Alrighty, everybody, we are
Hi.
good to go. My cozy adventurers. Let's
The cozy campaign. Let's
the
go.
cozy campaign. Let's start building our family, our long generations here at Daggerford and never leave. And
We've started to set up roots here.
yeah,
We've set up a nice low-risk saving bond in the Bank of Daggerford. Yeah. Okay. So basically, the party find themselves after a nice long rest in the morning of Daggerford, after the latest warning shot has been perceived from this threat beyond of the oak nature like arm piercing the sky through the portal, and this time incinerating the beloved statue of our fallen hero Danu after the celebratory information. However, more importantly than anything, what did survive was his plaque. The plaque with the inspirational message provided by our heroes. So thankfully that will forever remain in the town, despite the beautiful ornate wooden statue of Danu now being reduced to ashes. Okay. From the party that find themselves waking up in the morning, I think you basically had parked the night in the Marcel Mercantile homestead. Claude, as you're kind of walking around with the home itself, the structure is still standing, but you can see a little bit of damage and almost graffiti on the home as the conspiracy that Nelson was involved in came to light along the rest of the town. So a few windows have been boarded. I'm not completely destroyed or anything, but a few of the windows have had to be boarded up, so you can see some sunlight coming in through the cracks. A lot of the floor had been damaged anyway because of the water from Kisera entering and with the water elementals by the side. None of the mantle pieces have any of the memorabilia that were there when you first arrived, despite Rian still currently rocking her tribal headdress from her meeting. So basically you find yourself awake right before everybody else is kind of getting up and starting to rise in the morning, and you have a couple of options. You can walk outside, you can go into your relatively small pantry that you know of at the back of the house. So what are you thinking about doing to start the day?
Yeah, I'll go to the kitchen, the pantry, get food, and see if I run into Rickard along the way, if he's awake.
Yeah. So Rickard, you do find down there. Basically, you kind of get the feeling that he just hasn't slept for, he probably hasn't slept well for probably weeks. You know, as we talked the last time, about 15 weeks had passed since the events of our last campaign. So Rickard is down there at the moment. I don't have the picture of him saved in there, but he's basically kind of stumbling around the pantry. You get the feeling he's not really looking for anything particular, but he's more, he's just walking around almost in a stupor. So
how many weeks did you say?
It's been about 4 months. So I think we said the last year was like 15 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just walk in, start making food, and I'll ask him, "Can I get you something?"
And Rickard he doesn't react to you for 1 or 2 seconds, and then almost out of the fuzz, kind of hears your voice and goes, "Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine, thanks."
I'll start making something anyway. I'll just make like 2 breakfast sandwiches because I know he probably.
Could you make them the way Mom used to make them? You know, with the cheese and the you know, the way
Claude starts
4 minutes. 4 minutes. Not the crusts. She always knew I hated the crusts, and
I do it exactly the way mother would have done it.
Yeah, and as he goes to take a bite of it, you do see a bit of a tear go down his eye. And he's like, it's like a little moment, little glimpse in that memory, but the memory is both beautiful and painful to him at the same time, and you just get a very quiet. Thanks, Claude. I gotta go up and I gotta get there's invoices to sort out and trying to keep the merchants going, and we've been losing clients.
None of this is permanent, and you spent a lot of years learning how to run this business. I know you're every bit as capable as.
Yeah, but you heard Dad. It was supposed to be for you. I thought I was getting there, and
doesn't really matter. Look at where he ended up, and tell me that his opinion of how you could do this is of any significance. He made the decisions that got us here. So if he thinks you're incapable, I don't really think that matters at all.
Really believe that?
I think you've been doing this for long enough that you're more equipped than anybody to take over.
Thanks, Claude. I really needed to hear that, so thank you.
I know it's going to be tough, and we've both gone through a lot, but you grew up in this life. You've been doing it for longer than I ever did. You know the politics of this town. You know the trade. You know the business. You know the people. So don't let Dad's shadow be something that holds you down.
And at that moment, you can kind of see Rickard just think, and then in a brief moment, you can see almost he has a bit of an idea, and he gets like a scrap of paper and he starts thinking about what he could do. And oh well, maybe if I talk to these guys and maybe try to set up that deal that we had talked about a couple of months ago. And he's almost talking to himself now as he's kind of got into a run of thought. So you're going to take a D6 inspiration for encouraging your brother. And basically just with the idea that he's got a little bit of his confidence back. And he's almost kind of furiously writing notes. And basically before you leave, he goes, "Oh, do you think we should expand the pantry? Is it really fit for purpose? It's kind of a bit dingy, don't you think?"
I think some change would be nice around here. This is yours now, and if you want to change it, then I think it's every bit within your right. Leave those memories behind. If it needs to change it.
Home makeover.
So I was thinking it could also double as storage and stuff, for the deals I want to make, and we've got that access way. We discovered with the pipe that goes out to the water that could be, and he's almost talking to himself. That could be like a really cool access point, and provide a little bit of some efficiencies and maybe save some money on the port fees. And he's just kind of talking to himself now. He's kind of just spinning with ideas.
A little ramble, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Claude is leaving the pantry, who is getting up next in the party?
Is Jarvis with us, or did he stay in the inn?
No, he's got his own house.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so he's there with the family. So he's got his own place. Maybe if you wanted to visit him, maybe you've had that visit and you're walking back to the house. If you want to have that conversation with him.
Yeah, Rian had saved some of Kisera's tentacles because she was trying to. She wanted to see if she could figure out what powered her up from. Like Kisera had gotten stronger from getting some of Rian's blood, and what that interaction was, and she and Jarvis have been kind of trying to research for the last few months while we've been here. So I don't know if we've made any headway, or if I even have somewhere to look outside of this town for where to go next.
So let's say you basically excited about this theory that you got up even earlier than Claude, so you already made your way to Jarvis's house. So by the time Claude is coming out of the pantry, you're basically coming back into the house. So in terms of what you found during that visit with Jarvis, basically you've kind of been investigating how the blood between these two entities is both combining but also remaining separate. Yeah. And so they're working together, but not like liquids that kind of blend or bleed into each other. This is still remaining quite separate. And basically there's a real connection with this electrical almost element that's within your blood that you've suspected for a while, with your parentage not being as aware to you. So you do have that air genasi component, which you would think would help the bonding process between this blood, but there's almost like an extra sort of spark or an extra energy within your blood that's causing that separation. So for Kisera, it was not only the air and water, which gave her 2 of the 4 elements, but this electrical sort of kinetic energy in there as well, which even she wouldn't have known of. She would have had an idea of that when interacting with any air genasi. It just happened to be you on that day, because she knew she needed to create an imbalance, so she was going for an air genasi with her water elemental. What she didn't anticipate was this electrical lightning component that's within your physiology as well. So if anything, it's kind of answered a question, but it's probably also opened the door to so many other ones. So you've got like an excitement and a bit of a frustration in there as well, depending on how you want to react to it. So you're almost, if anything, it's kind of helped give you a sense of knowledge of yourself, which has created a little bit of a disconnect with you, that you've known you're not solely, it's not a case of just being an air genasi, you're not solely air genasi.
Ryan will just walk into the house, just flicking some, not necessarily lightning, but little shocks across her fingers.
Little sparks.
She's thinking, thinking with, and Jordan's following behind. So
So basically, as you're walking along, anything, if you've ever had that sort of static sort of shock as you're going along, you touch like a doorknob and it's gonna get familiar. Yeah, I'm very familiar with that too. So you get that, and basically anytime you're touching like doorknobs, there's little tiny sparks, just nothing big fireworks showy, but just enough that even you don't need you don't need to close the range as much, which helps, which if anything is giving you this idea of air genasi, but yet lightning grasp or shocking grasp that you had. Like, where did that sort of come from? This is you beginning to kind of channel that and understand that this is not an accident.
Okay, so Claude, is there a library in your house?
Actually, I did need something, so I'm hoping yes.
You know what's funny? I was just thinking there should be. I was like, oh man, I hope there's like a library in this place because I want to do some research.
You know what? I need some green tea, a blanket. I need to crochet something, a good comfy armchair.
How many nooks would you say you have in your house? How many nooks?
I need a good book. That's what this adventure needs, a good book. Yeah. Okay.
Ryan's just gonna head off to the library. She's been in there a lot the last few months, and just go to a table she's occupied that has tons of stuff spread out on it.
Yeah, so the library in this case is, if you remember when we were fighting Kisera, you were going upstairs and there was a balcony area. So one of the rooms off to the left is their library. Not public library size, just a room with wall-to-wall books. There's a good section on sort of financing and investment and things like that. But there's also a medical section, a biology section, which Claude in particular can think about is because he was trying to save his wife. So he's doing a lot of research into that. And then as it progressed, there was more of a supernatural element to that, and sort of myths and lore and theory, let's call it experimental science, medicine, etc. So you could see the desperation as it's almost showing like how his life transformed, the way these books are organized, from the business focus to the focus on saving his wife to doing anything possible or necessary to try to find a solution. So Rian is being a super nerd in this cool D&D world. That's right. Other nerd right here, so that's fine. Props. So yeah, okay. So Rian is reading some books like a hero. Claude is being the protective older brother, making some breakfast. Bo, Tommy, or Tell?
I'll say, yeah. So when Rian came in, that's actually where Bo would have been. After talking with George, he desired to find out more about the loot. Because I mean, if it's gone through George's hands, there has to be some type of lore. And so, actually, I figured he wouldn't find something in this library, but what I know he could find is possibly like a more detailed map of the town and the businesses and guilds, since they are a merchant company, trying to pinpoint maybe like a bard guild, a more arcane library, if you will.
Fantastic. Cool. So
he's going over maps.
Bo's in the library, and Bo has got the only chair that's in the library. So Rian's walking in, and he's got the table covered in his books, and Rian's trying to walk in, and there's only one chair. And so you guys can interact with that, and then I can give an idea of what Bo's find.
And just levitate myself by the table.
Oh, levitate yourself. I thought that was like the sibling goes, "No, it's my chair."
He's him up, levitates Bo out.
That's my chair. I called it. No, I was here first. Okay, so Rian is basically lightly levitating beside his chair, and she's using that to basically see the books that are on the higher shelves. She's not having to use that ladder that rolls from left to right on the thing. She's able to look at the books on the top and the books and wherever, and just glide side to side. Okay, Bo, you're looking for sort of probably the closest thing you can find when it comes to the bard, so it comes to the loot, is repeated, especially when it comes to sort of mercantile and trade. There's lots of references to deals with devils and deals with demons. And unfortunately, while those items can provide benefits, there are generally downsides to it. So you kind of understand the idea that there's probably been a deal with a demonic presence, or at least a trickster element to that. With that, it's up to you what you sort of think that's most likely to be, and probably the indication of what the negative sides of the item is probably the best indicator of malicious intent or trickster intent, etc. As you go along.
Right. And Bo has an idea of possibly what it means, but he's not gonna kind of like reveal that yet.
Makes sense. And there also can be elements. One of the sort of haunting lines that catches you every so often is that although an item doesn't start with the intended target, they do have a tendency to find their way into their hands eventually.
Okay. So it doesn't.
So you're starting to think, you're starting to wonder, am I the target, or am I just another hand that has been passing through along the way? So it's creating that sort of uncertainty of what this could mean for you.
Okay.
Yep. In terms of guilds and things, you're seeing that basically you're on the Sword Coast. And we'll kind of see an image of that later on. But basically the key towns in the area, you're in Daggerford at the moment, but you've got Waterdeep, Loudwater, Long Saddle, Neverwinter, Luskin, Mirabar. There is an image that I can show you guys later on, so you don't necessarily have to write them all down, and I'll put that into the sort of chat as well. So there's sort of the key settlements along the way. There are other small like symbols on these maps of like either the caves or mountains or other sort of features along the way, but they aren't necessarily, let's call them, prominent enough or definitively labeled on these maps. You don't quite know. Like some of the ones almost kind of look like they've been penciled in. Like you kind of get the feeling like Nelson. Sometimes when you looked at the map, like some of them are like penciled in or approximate areas and question marks and things like that on it, which may also give an indication of areas that he's been or areas that he's looked at as part of his investigations.
Okay. So while I'm searching through books, I'm finding like references from book to book about this, about this loot and about these areas. And all the while, I'm kind of like, Bo's not. He's a traveler, but he hasn't spent his time in libraries. He doesn't know his way around libraries. So he's just like bothering. I'm gonna be bothering Rian just like every 2 seconds. Like, do you know where I can find this book? Like, how would I find this? Like, what's an index? What's an appendix? And so like Rian's trying to do her own research, and I'm just coming at her like basically this noob nerd trying to find
this levitating Genasi just with like frustration sparks kind of just in her fingers because she has her back to you.
Yeah,
holding it together,
and just like
the lighting's not great, so it looks like she's wielding or welding something over there, just like.
Yeah.
Isn't Jarvis coming sometime today? Shouldn't Jarvis be here to help you?
Oh, that would be great. I mean, you've been terrible at helping me with this. I don't know if it's the.
Some of us have our own problems. I don't know anything about loot. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Well,
that reaction causes Tobin, who's been following Rian, to just kind of slip in behind Bo's legs. So he's kind of like, ooh.
Well, I can see I'm bothering you with this, so maybe I'll step out and let you do your own research. I think I've had enough for today.
Just do what you need. I can't think while you're thinking out loud.
That's my best. That's the only way I can do it, though. Maybe we can make it like a sign up sheet for who uses the library for research.
Or maybe I'll just rip off a little bit of like my shirt and stuff my ears.
That might work.
I'll just shut you
out. Maybe I'll go practice some spells. Maybe I'll learn how to cast a silence spell. Then we won't have to worry about anything.
As long as it's quiet.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll leave you. I'll leave you to your own research. If you need any help, let me know. I'm sure I could be of assistance.
Rian doesn't answer. She just flips another page.
I was gonna step out then.
Tobin's gonna take the seat at the table. So basically, the seat's warm. He's got up on top of it. He's kind of circled himself into a wee ball, and so he's beginning to snooze on the library chair. Cool. Rian, is there anything you want to look at before we check out Tommy and Tell?
I would think in 4 months I've pretty much been through this library since it's not 2 years, but I'm just like going through stuff again. See if anything else stands out.
I would say that as well. It's not really been the best source of information for your predicament at the moment, because it's not necessarily location based or medical. In terms of the areas that Nelson would have been looking at, there isn't a lot of crossover for that.
Cool. Yeah, it's just helping me think more.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Tommy, let's go with you next, and then we'll catch up with Tell. We'll say Tell is basically the last to wake up.
Okay. So when we tried to, we came back from helping put out that fire last night, and we We all went to bed. Tommy was still very drunk, so he had that room spinning feeling that made him very nauseous.
It's a good thing you say that, because as you wake up, you have to do a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Classic Tommy.
Yeah.
A 12.
Okay, you just about hold back getting sick. Yeah.
So Tommy drifted off for about, we'll say 30 minutes, got up, had that sick feeling, decides to go out and go for a walk, which over the last 4 months is not like surprising to anybody. Tommy's been here with the group sometimes. He's been with his other crewmates at maybe not the best facilities of the. He's been kind of all over town doing his own thing. Yep. So Tommy goes out for a walk to get some fresh air. Headed down to the dock just to get that nice air in him. Try to get this sickness feeling away. And he came across his newly built ship that he's beyond. Oh, hello. He's beyond excited about. Yep. And
so basically, just as you're walking around the docks, you just see one of the sort of dock workers, like the dock manager. And he's just going like, "All right, Tommy, you go out for another walk. You had fun last night."
As always, you know how I am. Can't say no to a good drink. And he kind of points out to the ship. He's like, "The ship's looking wonderful. I see they just started painting the name on the side of it, and."
Yeah, I thought it was an unusual choice, but it's your ship, and you do what you want with it. Binky and I wouldn't have necessarily picked that name, but it's fine. It's your choice.
Yeah, I really had to get away from that whole howling boar image. It was a little too much, and kind of across the side, the lettering itself is like this kind of bright purple, and then like with the outlining of the letters is a brighter yellow, so it's like a purple on yellow kind of thing that says "The Silent Tempest" across the side of the ship, which Tommy kind of smiles at and nods, and he's like, all right, well, I just need to go for a little walk, get a little fresh air. I'll catch you later. Did I get his name? But Binky was the monkey. What was
Yeah, you can't remember.
Yeah. It's like I'll catch you guys. Later on. And he kind of.
I really thought the Ruby Monkey would have been a really, really good name, but it's just like one day I'll get my own ship, I guess. So,
there you go. Or if I'm blessed with good fortune, perhaps I get a second ship, and I'll remember that name. And as he's kind of like walking away, like doesn't even like. Isn't even polite enough to like look him in the face. Yeah. Like Tommy's just kind of like walking and like, yep, I will keep that name in my thoughts. And then couple hours later, Tommy wakes up to like that feeling when you have bright sunlight shining in on you, and Tommy kind of opens his eyes. He's in this really beautiful, comfortable bed, and there's these big glass windows. This light just shining in onto his face, and he can kind of look out the windows down upon rest of Daggerford. He's definitely higher up, and he stretches a little bit. He's naked except for he has his underwear on, and that's how he normally sleeps comfortably. He kind of just gives a little bit of a stretch, and he looks around the room. He hasn't been here before, but it has a very familiar feeling to it. There's a lot of wood. Furniture and everything just kind of accented with wood. The canopy above the bed is almost something you would find on like a ship. It's kind of like thicker rope canopy on this bed. And Tommy glances over to his left, and there's kind of like you see in the TV shows, there's a naked woman there, but she has her back to him, and there's a bed sheet going across where you can just see her back, and she kind of has this long curly gray hair coming down the back of her. And Tommy kind of starts thinking about what might have happened the night before, and I would like to try to do a stealth check to get my clothing and try to stealth out of the room.
Yep. Okay. You are going to do that with disadvantage though, because you are you did survive throwing up. but it wasn't that high roll that you're not perfectly awake.
Right. So a 5.
Okay. Yeah. With disadvantage.
That was the disadvantaged one.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
That's like the opposite of the with advantage.
Nope. That was the disadvantage one.
Yeah. So basically, you try to creep out, but your last foot gets caught up in the sheets a little bit that you had, and basically you just face plant right into the ground. And she just turns around, and Mary, she brings the sheet over the top of her, and she goes, "Well, howdy, sailor."
Morning, Tommy from like the floor. Morning to you as well. And he like gets himself up, and I'm trying to like start collecting my clothing, like not even like hide it now. Like I'm leaving.
Yeah.
He puts his coat on, not his undershirt, and pulls his trousers up, puts like a boot on, and is just kind of carrying the rest of his clothing towards the door.
Yeah, no need to panic. No need to panic, lad. I'm not looking to port my ship in your dock forever. Don't you worry about that. It's just a shore leave, for all of us. Don't be expecting anything like that.
And
was that
no need to be nervous.
Yep. You know how it is.
She's a sailor too. Yeah.
Tommy got it. Tommy's down to it. So Tommy's like, yeah, you know how it is, love. We don't fall in love. We just have good experiences. And Tommy, like, as he's like trying to get his stuff, is very sore. His muscles, like, everything feels real sore. And he kind of thinks back to the instrument of Bo's instrument, and like he's like trying to put together what happened, but can't remember what it was at all. But he's just feeling like like he's lifted a lot, almost like his muscles expanded or something. But he's getting his stuff together. And he's like,
she goes, "Ma, you were like a wild animal last night. What got into you?"
You wouldn't be the first to say it, and you certainly won't be the last. And Tommy grabs the door and like puts it open, thinking that's the coolest fucking line he could say, and opens the door and is gonna start heading out of whatever her wonderful home is, and he's kind of slowly putting himself together as he trudges back across town towards the Claude home, and kind of he'll probably just walk in. Maybe just like shortly after the breakfast sandwich conversation, because he's looking for some food. Yeah. And
so basically, as Claude is coming in from the pantry, and Tommy's walking in through the front door, that's the kind of same time when you can hear Ryan just go, I can't think. It's just I'm trying to, and then basically Bo go, right, well, sure, I'll just leave you then, and you can hear like Bo like, closing the door behind him.
So Bo probably catches somewhat to the back of Tommy as he's heading towards the cellar, and you could just from a distance you can tell he's unkept, just kind of half pants sliding down a little bit, just hair a little bit of a mess. And I walk in, looking to Claude like, so what are we doing about breakfast? With a big ass cheesy grin on his face. Obviously doesn't have his undershirt, but he has his big jacket on, like just not his normal wake up look, but is looking for some food.
I'll make Tommy a sandwich too. Looks like you could use the sustenance. And
Tommy very much sees that you had already cut crust into the side, and he starts snacking on the crust from the other sandwich because nothing goes to waste for a pirate. So
very good.
Get some hardtack for him in the pantry.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, and tell.
Well, I'm just going to get up, and I smell some food, so I'm going to wander over to the kitchen, because the last thing I ate still is not sitting right in my stomach.
Yeah, very good.
I do have a bad taste in my mouth, and I want to get rid of that. So,
yep. The last two, I think the last two cupcakes that you had, basically beside your bed, they've started to attract a significant quantity of flies around there quite quickly, even though they just came out of the oven like yesterday. They like one of the first sounds you're sort of hearing as well is sort of the port and all. You're starting to hear buzzing,
Huh. Okay, well, let's take those outside. Let's
Yeah. Okay, cool. As you're walking past the library door, you start to hear scratching on the door on the other side of the library door, just at the bottom. So basically, you can hear the Tobin's trying to get out of the library after Bo closed the door.
Yeah, and Bo's already made his way into the kitchen as well.
In the kitchen.
I'm gonna make some. I saw Tommy disheveled. I knew what happened. Well, I know he had a rough night, so I'm gonna go make some mint tea. And
you got to ship You got to ship Doctor to his port.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about all that, but I do know Tommy's a drinker, and I know Tell had some tried some more fish cupcakes, so I'm sure everybody's stomachs are a little bit queasy. So
basically, as you can hear the door scratching from Tobin on the other side of the door, and he's starting to whine a bit, basically as you're walking past the door.
Okay. Is he gonna attack me if I open it?
Yes.
Is Tobin gonna attack you? Yeah.
Already.
Or is it something else scratching at the door, and you want to make me think it's Tobin?
Oh, yeah. No, this is a sound you recognize from other times where Tobin's been on the other side of the door. So yeah, over the last few months.
Another displacer cat.
Wow. There's a bear in my oatmeal.
So I basically want to throw the cupcakes out and then come back and open the door because I don't want to have them in my hand.
Okay, cool. Tobin looks at you. You can see him sort of searching around. Instantly sees you don't have the cupcakes and runs off. So he's basically after the cupcakes.
Uh-oh.
So he's running, and there's like a bin or anywhere. He basically runs past Bo and Tommy and Claude, and you can just see Tobin like rough, wildly sniffing around, looking for something that you believe is what Tell just threw away. So
I try to distract him away from the cupcakes. I think there's chocolate in there. I don't want him to have that. So I go to the kitchen and tell Claude to throw me scrambled eggs or something to feed Tobin.
He's begging.
Make a breakfast for everybody.
Yeah, throw me a piece of ham or something.
Bucket cooking up a storm. Throw all the deli meats.
You're gonna take that trait for the chef trait at this rate. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So basically, you've all convened back in the house at the moment after the night, and you're all getting some breakfast into, and Rickard's still downstairs, and Ryan's in the library. But imagine she might come down at some point once she kind of realizes the books aren't really leading her anywhere new. So yeah, you guys are all there, and basically as you're starting to kind of walk around, you're starting to hear a little bit more foot traffic outside. You can kind of hear stalls opening and shops unlocking and people just commuting on foot, but they're just walking back and forth. So the city itself is starting to build up a little bit of energy. So they say like you're sort of 8:30, 9 in the morning.
As we're eating and stuff, Tommy's finally put himself together, puts his shirt on, and kind of just absentmindedly goes into his pockets to see what he might have collected from the events of the bar the night before, and he pulls out a couple coins, but then he pulls out this folded up thing, and he's like, oh yeah, you guys remember there's gonna be like a cool circus or something? And he kind of instinctively goes to hand it to Claude, and then does that almost dog head tilt thing, because now he has a view of the back of it, and he kind of stops halfway, handing it to Claude, and it stares at it, and he's like, "What is this?" And then just kind of flips it back over and shows whoever is there. Looks like there's places.
So basically, you're seeing what you'd imagine it to be the tour map for the circus. So because you were taking this flyer, it's not like a brand new flyer. You basically took it out of somebody's pocket, So it's a bit ruffled, bit folded, etc. A little bit dog-eared. So you don't know exactly when it was that they were here, or if they have been here, for example. Because as you can see, Daggerford is the number 3 stop on that. But there's other key destinations along the way, sort of significant point map, and a few other wee features and drawings, etc. And you can see the beautiful artwork to make it look aged on that as well. I mean, that's natural. It's like somebody didn't put effort into making it look old. So yeah, well, still legible. It's like a really, really delicate balance. So yeah, so basically you've got an idea of where you guys are in the area. If anything, you've got sort of Shellburg, which was a little bit further down south, and you had, say, the Claude's looking at this. If he's looking at the map, you kind of get the feeling Shellburg's a little bit lower down from here. Flattery was more in the middle, so near the bottom here. And then you made your way towards Daggerford, which is your hometown anyway. But they wouldn't be on it because they're not stops for the circus. So,
could you do me a favor and zoom out on the map a little bit, or make it smaller, just a little bit smaller?
Oh, well, I was saying that because Shellburg and Flattery aren't on this. They're not written on this map.
No, that's fine. I'm just moving our cameras out of the way because the chat couldn't see the the bottom of the map. So.
Is that Lark with 2 L's? What is that?
Yes, it is. LLARKH.
Yeah, so Tommy, who obviously has not been in the books and doing any kind of research and shit, definitely is making sure to like show it to like Claude and Bo and Rain, like anyone that's been like looking stuff up. Be like, so could like, you guys think we should go like check out the circus at like one of these places? Like, kind of be, which one's the closest?
Yeah, it looks like Yordor is the next on the list.
Yep.
The merchant trade routes follow a very similar, pattern around these cities. It's kind of the whole region.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
so, Yordor's the next stop. Once again, you don't know exactly when the circus has been in Daggerford. You don't know, like, if it was very recently or a little while ago, like, because you're basically just pickpocketing from people, so you don't know how long it's actually been in that guy's pocket, for example. But you at least know where it's been, because you know that it was in Daggerford, but it's not in. It's not there now, and you do get the feeling it's further along on the route with that.
Is there
you understand the area, Bo? You would have a good idea of the geography as well. You'd understand that when you're getting up to areas like Mirabar and Luskan, you're getting into not quite a frozen tundra area, but you're definitely like the climate is very cold up there. So it's definitely like not quite a frozen north, but you're getting into sort of the base of these mountains that you can see, just hand drawn on this map. So that's a much colder area of the map. And then you've got major cities like Neverwinter and Waterdeep in there as well, but further along the process. And then smaller settlements along the way, Yortor and Longsaddle. Bow, as a performer, you will understand that most performers will stick in a few smaller settlements along the way, almost to kind of try new material and experiment a little bit with their act and kind of keep their main practice for the larger settlements that are out there. That's generally the best way you can entice a crowd and create a little bit of good PR.
And Tommy would be like trying to like, it'd be like, oh, so maybe like Claude, maybe we could do like 2 birds, 1 stone, with everything kind of going around. That might be, Tommy would know that his brother is trying to like get the trading route and everything under his name and get maybe the Marcel name back on a better upswing. Because I'm sure word has spread a little bit about Claude's father. So Tommy's just kind of like, hey, maybe we could 2 birds, 1 stone, get the Marcel name back out there in a positive light. Tommy still has this like guilt about Claude's mother, and he's trying to figure out a way to like do better for the Marcel family. So he's like, maybe we could get your your brother's business name back out there a little bit more as we go check out these areas? Like,
I definitely think we need to get out of town because whatever this thing is that's been following us, this weird deity, I don't even know what it is. Like, I think we need to get out of town before it causes any more damage. It's appeared twice now.
why is it always us? As Tommy eats his sandwich. Not really to anybody, just why is it
getting real main character syndrome over here.
How many bad days can Jack Bauer have? Yeah. Okay. Right. And as you're going along, Claude, when Tommy brings up this idea about trying to get the Marcel name out there, you've kind of noticed over the last few months there's been more and more signs. Support the Seven Sons. Encourage fair trading. There's lots of there's this real push away from like a home market.
Away from a what?
Oh, sorry, away from a home market that the Marcells would have dominated. This is your hometown, and this is the first real sense you've got the feeling of you would have known the Seven Sons beforehand as being. They would have been described to you as a rival merchant guild. You're still trying to figure out exactly what that means because that's how your father described them. And you've discovered more about the Seven Sons since then, that they're basically victims of trafficking that have been able to escape. So
yeah,
but they are involved in their own form of agents, as well as being involved, as you figured out, with the counterfeiting that was going on, which thankfully has diluted. That has fallen in the last few months. There's less and less appearances of these fake coins because they basically are taking over Daggerford from a trade perspective. They no longer have this need to devalue the Marcel mercantile group.
Now that you mentioned getting the Marcel name out there, Tommy, what about working with the Seven Sons now that we know, our good friends, Dusty, Rusty, and Xerix are a part of them? Like it seems like they're kind of an ally now. So why not? I don't know. What about a merger? Did you ever think of that?
Brand merge.
I mean, start fresh. If the Marcells need to lay low.
I mean, we definitely have the infrastructure, but at the end of the day, it's Rickard at the head of the business to make decisions, and he seems like he's got something cooking. So
yeah,
maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It definitely seems like he wants to do some renovations, not linger in the memory of what we have been.
I mean, there sure is a lot of water damage in this place. They're going to need a lot of renovations.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I think we need to figure out where this circus is, where it's been. Is there a date? Is there kind of like, is there a listing on what was the front? Let me see that. What does the front look like? Freaky Deeks.
There's no dates not because I need to reuse this.
That's okay. Can I do
it's good, yeah. But yeah, if you were to give an indication, basically, you could probably find out from people in town.
Yeah, that was going to be the next thing.
Yeah.
What about can I do a history check to see if I know Freaky Deeks, like in my comings and goings?
You can do.
Let me do that. 11 plus 1. That's a 12.
It's a relatively new, let's call it, group out there. Traveling circuses aren't unusual, but even if your experience of you would have done a lot of, through canals and swamps, and you would have seen, sort of small, let's call it entertainment spots being set up ad hoc, you don't know of Freaky Deeks. It doesn't necessarily seem like it's brand new, but not one of the most well established.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think I've ever heard this, but considering they're coming from the east, at least starting from there, maybe they're not necessarily from around here. But like I said, I don't recognize the group.
Well, a caravan's going to travel slow. We're a small group, and they're going to be stopping to perform along the way. So if we follow their route, I imagine we could catch up to them fairly quick.
Yeah, I mean, we could always, if we wanted to play it safe, we could probably, work backwards from them. Maybe go north to Waterdeep, or at least see if they're when they were in town last, and kind of like go from there.
Yeah, if they were here within the last, I don't know, week, we could probably catch up to them within the next 2 stops.
Yeah, probably be easier to catch up than to go way ahead because we don't know how long they stay at areas. They might perform for a whole month in one town. So if we're 4 or 5 stops away from them, that could be 5 months till we see them.
Yeah.
All right.
M furiously writes 5 months worth of content in game.
We can do that.
Yeah. Episode 120. They finally catch up to the circus.
All right. Well, as we discuss this, the mint tea caught up with Bo, so he's gonna step out for
it. Nice.
I wanted to okay, so that sword we were talking about before.
Yeah.
I need to take it by the blacksmith.
Yeah, I think the blacksmith would probably be the best person you would think of to get involved in that. The only other person you would have thought that might have known about it would be Truestorm himself, but he's not with us, especially as part of the sort of the mineral and the mining element of the business. So you've got Freddy.
Let's not try to have another goblin incident with the body of Truestorm. Bring him back.
Zap. You're muted.
Before Claude goes to the smith, if Ryan's like coming out of the library, be like, "Hey, are you going to the smithy?"
Yeah, I'm going out to town.
Can you pick up my order? He knows what I wanted. I got some armor made for.
Yeah,
some
cool.
trial armor made for Tobin. I just want to protect him a little more if he's going to be with us in battle.
For the dog? I look down at Tobin.
Just yeah.
Tobin looks at you.
So we don't have to like be so worried during our little skirmishes.
Okay, yeah. I'm picking up an order you already placed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'll check it out. I'll head out. And
Tommy, do you want to stick around the house? Do you want to go with Claude? Who wants to do what?
Tommy will stick to the house. He still feeling a little rough. He's eating his breakfast, but he might even he'll probably stick around the house.
Your boat's been rocked. A little seasick.
Just get my land legs back, But yeah, Tommy will, if Rand's staying, Tommy will probably stay at the house too. Just all right, Bo, your biggest decision: go or
I'll
stay.
follow Claude.
Let's go.
Side quest. Go with Claude as well.
I'm gonna go.
Right. Cool. So at the moment, Rian is hanging back at the house at the moment with Tobin, and everybody else is walking over to the blacksmith, which is basically just across the road. So it's a quick thing, and you can, as you open up the door, you can see him. He's basically got the bellows, and he's trying to get the coals nice and warm, and he's basically lifting the canopy up onto the side and getting it tied in, and you can kind of see him looking around for stuff, and he's going, "Oh yeah, he's picking up the head of the hammer again, it's kind of like he's got like a makeshift hammer because the wooden part of it is missing, but the hammer head, the metallic part is still there. And you can just see him, and he looks over and he goes, "Morning, Mr. Marcel."
Freddy, how are you today?
Good, sir. I'm good. By the way, I have an order for your friend, Rian. So he basically just turned around and he's got this sort of leather sheet that's just been wrapped in a little bit of string and just gives it back to you. And goes, so if you wouldn't mind delivering that to her, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
How can I
That's
help you
the reason
today?
I'm here. Yeah. So aside from the armor, pull out the sword, Nelson's sword. I was wondering if you could sort of appraise this. Can you tell me anything about it? Where it's from? How it was forged? If it has any enchantments on it?
Yeah. So it wouldn't necessarily. I actually was involved in the making of this for Nelson. It's not necessarily enchantments. Like a lot of the sort of the elements of it are just skill based, so not necessarily magical based. So, for example, if you've ever seen like the light on it, it's just like the way it's been molded, and it's the way it reflects light with it. So we can give off sort of certain impressions with that. But in terms of as a weapon, as a piece, it has actually a couple of pretty unique features if it's something that you're looking to potentially keep for yourself. So as you can see, it is a great sword. So it's a two-handed weapon that you have. So you wouldn't necessarily be able to use a shield at the same time with it if you chose to use it. However, there's a couple of key points that I would describe with it. One, first of all, the intricacy of it, it gives it an impressive looking quality, which if you were to use that in the real world, you can imagine that would have a real benefit to intimidating anybody who is around you when you're holding it at the time. So first of all, the impressive looking nature of it would make it extra intimidating for your foes. Okay. However, there's a little bit of give and take when it comes with that. You would describe it first of all as it's hard to wield. Okay. And I'm not sure if you noticed with Nelson. Nelson has a lot of sort of cuts on his arm and sort of scuffs on his armor and his hands, because basically when used properly, it does cause a little bit of damage to you every time that you swing it, regardless of your hit. It's a very small amount of damage, but it does cause a little bit of damage every time that you swing it, regardless of whether it hits. However, with the ingenuity and he's basically showing you like planes along the blade and how sort of sharp it is along the end. You can see right at the end there's basically what we would in the smithy world would call, it's got a sweet spot about it, which basically means you could imagine that there's an increased chance of critical or highly damaging hits when it does connect. So instead of say 5% of every swing potentially having the chance of critting, it would be 10% chance of critting. To give behind the window, that means it crits on 19s and 20s, not just 20s. Okay, so impressive looking. So it's extra intimidation for your opponents, especially in terms of it, the light it seems to emit from that. But it is hard to hold, hard to wield. So it can cause a little bit of damage to you when you use it, regardless of whether you hit or miss. But when hit, there's a greater chance that it's a highly impactful weapon.
I have to say it's a very impressive craftsmanship.
Thank you, sir.
Very well.
Yeah. I hope it didn't cause you any personal difficulties. You can tell with your conversations with Freddy, even the attitude that Freddy has towards you, he knows what side you're on, right? So there's no sort of suspicion. There's no hint of, oh, surely Claude must have known something along the way. You get the feeling Freddy's a bit of a straight shooter with you. He kind of knows you. He's known of you since you were younger, and doesn't believe that you were involved in any way, or you've never at least got the sense that he's thought you were involved.
Well, you can't bear a grudge against a weapon. It's just a tool.
Like any tool. That's exactly it. You put it in the hand of a of a holy man, and it can do great things. But in the same sense, you put it in the hands of the wrong holy man, and it can commit atrocities. So,
well, I hope to put this to better use than it has been in the past.
Yeah, in terms of evaluation, you're probably looking about 125 gold.
Appreciate that.
It's got good value to it if you don't want to look at that, because it is a particularly strategic choice in battle, especially because you don't have the defensive element of your shield. You will be probably, it will be a little bit painful to use as you go, but can be highly effective when something needs to be dead.
I think I'll keep it. I think I can find a use for it, and there's no sense in burying the past. We have to learn from our mistakes.
Is there anything else I can help you or any of your compatriots here?
Bo was checking out the wares and such. He was looking at things. And, he hears that. I'm gonna be like, oh, actually, Freddie, you're a man of town, correct? Right? I mean,
indeed. I am indeed, sir.
Do you know anything about this circus that was in town? Freaky Deeks, or possibly when they're going to be in town?
I heard about it. It was quite a show. In fact, they were promoting in the town about, say, about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
No more than a month anyway. I don't know exactly. I didn't get to go to the show myself, but they were in town promoting. They basically came through the town center. They provided some like promotional ale to the tavern a while ago. I'm not quite sure if anyone's sort of gone through that yet. It was a new brand of Chesterfield ale, which so they've been kind of in support of that. So so they were in there, and that's how they kind of helped get their name out there. So,
I can't believe we missed it. I mean, we were in town, free ale. I can't believe. Performers. Man, we must have been really
must have been doing something that the DM didn't think about. So
no. That's all right. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
We got an idea now. We got to. So I mean, they were only here a couple weeks ago, so must have been whenever we were.
They basically come into towns for like 1 or 2 nights, in terms of the actual performance. So they don't seem to stick around too long. And as I said, it was a bit of a commotion. One afternoon, came in, made their, got their signs, etc., gave out a few flyers, and then left as dramatic and as fun as they arrived. So it was more of a get in, get out. You kind of get the feeling they didn't really want to stick around too much, even though people were looking to talk to them. They were sort of get in, get out, do their promotion, and then get back to their tent, their belongings.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They had animals and they had performers of all kinds. There were acrobats and strongmen and different beasts. It was like the spectacle, sir.
Hey, Freddie. So I appreciate all the information. I think that's going to be useful for us. We're actually planning on trying to catch up with them. And with that, I was wondering if you would possibly be able to. I have some cash on me, but I noticed you had some nice studded leather over there. Leather armor. I was wondering if that was possibly for sale.
At the end of the day, while I do love what I do, it's got to be a business first and foremost. So absolutely, it's very much up for purchase.
Yeah. What all could you? What would you part with it for?
Was to look at that. Maybe you've done a bit of that research yourself.
No, this is literally.
I don't know.
It's off the top of my head. I wasn't really looking. It just found our way over here. I noticed it the other day whenever we were, when Viator was, whenever he was helping.
Studded armor. He thinks back into his head. ignoring the typing sound. Okay, so basically, that is a particularly nice set that I put a lot of effort into. So it's 45 gold pieces is what I got to ask for that particular set. As you can imagine, I don't kind of half do my studded works.
Yeah.
So it's a particularly nice piece. You might say it is a at least one grade or a +1 grade above what you would expect to find in a normal shop.
Only 45, huh? I mean, still a little. Is there any possibility for a discount, a helper's discount, since we got you back up and running with the your apron and your hammer.
And save the city. Cough. Cough. Save the city.
I'm not going to pull that card.
Tommy would if he was there. Tommy's not there, though.
Okay. Well, give me a persuasion check.
Yeah. Hold on. I exited out of that to look up stats.
Tommy, do you want to help him or tell? Is there any way you want to help?
Tommy's not there. Tommy stayed home.
I think I already.
Oh, Tommy stayed home. Sorry.
I think Tell already helped enough with his ability. That is a 20. Wow.
I was going to assist, but it sounds like he's got it.
I got this.
Sounds like he's got it.
My persuasion's a +10, by the way. So.
Yeah,
it's a dirty 20.
It is your bag. It is your bag. Well, what do you think is a fair price, sir?
I mean, I'm going to get. 45 is reasonable enough, and I really don't think it would be much more than a 10% discount. So let's round it up to maybe 40 gold pieces.
I appreciate your insight, and he's basically looking over the towel and goes, "You know what? I can do 40. I can do 40."
See, that's where it's at. All right, buddy. I think we have a deal. So
classic.
I'm gonna hand him 40 gold pieces out of my bag.
Yep. Okay. And basically, he's gonna kind of bring it over, and he's gonna show it to you, and he's gonna fit it onto you, and then you can kind of see him just sort of taking a little bit of stitching and sort of working it away at some straps and things on that, so it actually is quite nice and snug around you. At the end of the day, it's also got what he's also going to do as well is he's basically got a spare bit of leather off to the side. And you can see him kind of drape that around your shoulders, sort of at a diagonal. And basically, that's going to be like a handy wee pouch for storing some of your instruments on the back. So it's very simple. It's not. He doesn't have a lot of time. He goes, and you can kind of tell he's almost apologetic, even though he's doing something nice for you. He's like, I know it's quite a simple design, but it'll mean that you don't have to carry around your instruments as much, and then you can kind of get them out and put them back quite quickly. So
Freddie, that really means a lot. I mean, yeah, I'm a man of simple taste, and that's great. Here, I think this would go along the way for you, and I'm gonna give him my leather armor in return. I appreciate the extra effort that you're really putting in, and maybe you could patch this old setup and resell it, almost like a core charge.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that. So he appreciates the thought, because as far as he's concerned, you didn't have to do that. You can look at it and he can see it's well worn, it's well practiced, and he goes, "If anything, sir, I think what it would work quite well for is sort of additional supplies and stock for myself for the materials that I have coming forward, if you don't mind. But if you wanted to keep this for sentimental value, I think the best value would be for additional leather stock."
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's all you. You got to do what you got to do. If you want to break it down for leather stock, it doesn't have much sentimental value for me. So as long as I appreciate that it getting put back to use, really.
And you can see basically at that point, so you're kind of both standing there for a second, and Freddie's looking at you, and you can just see Freddie goes, and he basically just put out a hand. It's almost like he doesn't quite know what to do, so he's kind of just standing there. He's like, well, thank you for your business.
Bo reaches out, gives him a handshake as well.
Classic. Yeah. At that point as well, the down the street door kicks open, and you can hear a familiar voice going, "I wouldn't trust anything that son of a bitch says." And basically, you already know who it is. Coming out of the tavern, stupid time of the morning. Beauregard is there at the far end of the tavern. He's going, "I wouldn't trust anything that son of a bitch says."
He has to sober up at some point, right?
Yeah, he doesn't even look like. He's in a lot of pain. This man is in a lot of pain. He lost all of his friends.
Yeah.
He doesn't have proper coping mechanisms. Okay, that's how his character has been made.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's not even looking at you. He's just kind of going off in a stupor. He's not even walking towards you. He just saw you. And the other way drunk people would, they see something, they react, I wouldn't trust that son of a bitch. And then he walks past somebody else and he looks at somebody else, goes, "I wouldn't trust that son of a bitch." Yeah, he's just looking left and right, and so yeah.
So he's walking away. That man, he's got a lot of problems, Freddie. I don't know what to do. I've tried to reach out to him multiple times in the month that we've been here, and he just won't.
And Freddie just goes, I just don't know where he got the idea that explosives would do anything other than escalate the situation. And yeah,
the situation was, it was outrageous.
Yeah.
And what they were trying to do was a little far-fetched, but it is. I guess it's in the past now. I don't know why he hasn't tried to better himself.
And you can see Freddy's like he's completely sympathetic to Bo. Like you can tell he's not. He's just like, yes. You're not really getting that feeling of, oh, he should wise up already or should get over. It's like, no, just per.
All right.
And that, so basically he's there. And as you look around, basically just kind of watching all this happening, the only thing you notice is the far end of the street. You've got a very happy Mary Elray just walking away downtown towards the tavern, looking pretty happy with herself, and just in general making her way towards the dock area. What that is happening at the moment. Right. Okay, cool. Elle, is there anything you want to do when you're sort of in town or in the street?
Oh, little old me. I missed what we did at the blacksmith, so I know Claude got a sword.
Yeah, he got the sword that he picked up from Nelson, identified. Basically.
Bo bought some studded leather armor, upgraded his AC from.
Does he have anything for elves?
Elves.
What else might you look for?
Like a crossbow, or maybe another one-handed weapon.
Yeah, he wouldn't have a crossbow. It would be a little bit too intricate, as you can imagine. With a blacksmith, it's more sort of melee, and he's probably creating more stuff on order than just having a lot of stock sort of sitting around at the moment. So no, the crossbow with it being sort of woodwork and kind of combination of woodwork, metalwork, etc., wouldn't necessarily be his remit.
Okay, that makes sense. Any kind of melee weapons? So I have just a plain mace. Anything better than that?
Yeah. Basically, he could, if you had a bit of time, he could upgrade the mace for you, but it would be a couple of days. It's not something I can just turn around in 5 minutes. And they basically stand there going, "I don't want to get in the way of your plans or anything, but it is something I could do." But you'd have to leave it with me as well.
We're there with him we hear that. So I mean, Claude, we're trying to figure out how to get out of town. I mean, it's not gonna be immediate. We gotta arrange some. We gotta get some supplies.
Yeah, you think we'll come back?
Well, the route is a loop, so eventually the roads lead back around. But
could we kick in some extra funds to make it a rush order, Freddy?
Out of character, is there any fast travel points in this town?
There's no fast travel.
No, but
I would like to autosave. Can I autosave before I roll?
We're gonna cheese it all the way.
Or maybe you can have it delivered.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, what I would say though, sir, is that for upgrade, it is a very custom order to be able to upgrade it. So, like, to be honest, normally I'd have to charge like 200 gold for that. You know, it's a lot to be able to actually upgrade a weapon to that.
Sir, you would charge me full price after I helped you.
I was just about to say, even with the discount, you're still looking, you know, the sort of the 10%, let's call it friends of the store discount. You know, you're still looking 180.
What kind of specs are we looking at here? How upgraded is this mace going to be?
It's going to be, let's say it's one level above your current mace without using D&D mechanic type language, and the fact that I'd have to look at what the stat block would be for a +1 mace. So
you don't have all stat blocks memorized.
It's one better in every way than your current mace. It even looks one better. Yeah.
I might have to be a hard pass because I don't think I have that much gold anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much you got?
I've got like 5 of those fake coins, I think. And then
does he say out loud in front of Freddy?
I got some fake. I got some counterfeit coins.
I've got those fake coins. Do you think you'll accept them? Yeah.
Surely that's worth 200 alone.
I guess we gotta keep on moseying then.
I'm trying to find my inventory. Oh, 180. Yeah, I don't even have enough. So, way up.
Okay. So he's happy to do business, but it is inexpensive, and even with, let's call it fast tracking it, it does take a bit of time to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess there's really nothing for me to do.
Well,
maybe I can check into the bakery.
I'm sorry, Tal. There's nothing for me to do. I'm sorry.
I think I've done everything that I can think of. Maybe I can check on the bakery and see if they remove or change their cupcake recipe before we leave.
I was going to suggest that because it still has no name as well. Yeah, so basically you can just see at the same time Red Hoof himself. You know, he's at the front of the bakery trying to offer people cupcakes, and no one seems to be taking them.
Okay, let me steal her name. Let me walk towards the bakery, and then if anybody else wants to do anything, I'm gonna think of something.
The only thing I wanted to do before we actually set out was gather a few books from my library, our own library, and specifically on religious symbolism and demonic patrons.
Yep, that's fine. Bo actually would be able to help you because he's looked into a little bit of that when it comes to sort of deals and pacts and things that have been happening with that. So when you go back to the house, even to give Rian back the dog armor that she's ordered, you'll be able to find those books quite quickly.
Perfect. Just anytime.
Yeah. How are we getting out of character, I guess? How do we plan on getting out of town? Like, how do we plan on traveling? Do you think we could? Should we try to?
Depends on the map. You know, so
Yeah, we decided. We kind of decided. I think we're gonna just travel, at their heels. So we're just gonna follow the route. So I guess we're gonna go to.
Yep.
Just on foot, I imagine, unless we want to try and procure horses, but that comes with additional cost, I think.
Or a wagon. Maybe we could hire somebody.
Yeah, let's see if there's a caravan headed out. But I don't know if we'd travel faster on our own.
I mean, all right.
I don't know. I'm actually not sure.
Could we find a donkey? He could be our pack mule. That'd be kind of cool. I think that's what
that's what the dog armor does. It allows Tobin to take you all.
He's the new Danu.
You just stack up on Tobin's back.
Yeah. So, Claude, in terms of caravan idea, you probably think you could talk to Rickard maybe about that, because at the end of the day, you are in the merchant business. So that's sort of one way you could look at it. Tommy might be excited to try to use his boat in some way, shape, or form, as well as on foot. So there's plenty of options that we can kind of figure out, or you can decide on.
Is there a waterway that goes inland up that route?
You can kind of see, most of it is, let's call it sea. I know this picture has it by a river, but there are like estuaries, and Bo has an idea of estuaries and canals and things that go in there. You just don't know quite how far you'd be able to get in a boat or a ship the size of the Silent Tempest. You'll be able to get some of the distance. Yeah. Be able to get some of the distance. It's a big old ship to dock. To dock in the port, yeah.
You need a sizable port.
It's a sizable port, yeah. So there are bow areas. You just don't know quite how far you'd be able to get with the ship.
I think our best bet would be by foot. I mean,
maybe if your brother's sending out some of the merchants, we can be almost like a extra protection crew on their way to the next area. You know what I mean?
That's what I used to do, actually.
If they're traveling that way, maybe they can spare a couple horses for us to tag along and be.
That's good. So
that's out of game. Tommy's not.
We'll come back to that in 1 second, just because Tell is walking up to the baker. So we'll figure that out in a second.
We were stalling for him.
Is he outside with his new and improved recipe?
Outside with a recipe?
Try it.
I'll try it. I'll greet him. Say, hey. Let me try the new rendition.
Yep. Okay. So my thinking is what was missing the last time was texture, mouth feel. So went for more crunch. Do you think? Try?
I don't think texture was the problem. What
you can see? You can see he's using you to kind of try to promote to other people around. He goes, yes, people come here, enjoy cupcakes. They love cupcakes.
They do.
Let us all eat cupcakes.
Okay.
Like this man. He's like beckoning you to.
Oh, yeah. Let me try one first before I gave a thumbs up, thumbs down. I gotta try it before I put my stamp on it.
Okay.
What'd you use for the texture?
So I this time went crab. Not fish. You said no fish. I went crab.
I don't think that's better, but I will try it.
You try.
I'll try. So I'll take.
You take a big bite. What you realize is when he says crab, he hasn't taken the crab meat out of the leg. It's still like the whole crunchy shell of the crab leg is in there as well. So you're definitely getting a crunch. It's not like well cooked. Like it seems to be well cooked, because he took your advice. He did cook them. So I cook first. then put in cupcake. Kept chocolate. You like chocolate. But you can tell that when he's using, what he's picked up on is he understands the difference between fish and crustaceans. So he's got that from you, which is, pretty well thought out as far as he's concerned. And then when obviously he got the suggestion of crab, he didn't really think of it being the crab meat. Even for a cupcake, he's just basically kind of cracked the crab legs. So it's got the meat and the hard shell of the crab, and you're basically trying to bite through the shell and the meat of crab in amongst the chocolate.
So let me ask him, does he even enjoy these?
I love favorite recipe. Crunch, 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 crunch. And you look at him like he's got like this massive big jaw and these big teeth. So probably for him, crunching through these is no bother whatsoever. Like he could grind these crabs, no problem for him.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a good orc cupcake, but how many orcs do you have as customers?
Of orc friends? Yeah, lots of friends.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think a majority of people here are just, like me, not orcs. And I don't think they would like.
So you're not Red Hoof friend?
No, I'm friend for sure. Yes, friend.
Oh, good.
As far as the cupcakes and the taste of the cupcakes go, I just don't think the majority of your customers. Should I dumb this down? A lot of customer will not like.
My common is what they say broken, but I think clear.
Oh, okay. So I can talk.
I understand. Common, not first language. Slightly judgmental of you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I came across as an asshole there. So, so I think a majority of your customers won't like your cupcakes because we don't like crabs or fish in our cupcakes. Do you have your recipe written down?
Right.
In your brain. Can you erase crab from that recipe in your brain? And fish? No fish. So we're looking at.
But I
sugar.
did no fish. I did crab.
Yeah, none of that.
No crab, no fish.
Crab, no fish. No crab, no fish.
No fish.
Seafood, just.
Yeah, we'll cover all of our bases. Say no seafood, no animals. Really, we don't need that.
Because I was going to go with different meat.
No,
we don't need that.
So we're looking. So we need sugar, flour, butter. What else is in cupcakes?
Even though that come from cow.
Baking soda. Yep. Yeah. Parts of the animal. Like no, not parts of the animal.
Milk.
Just milk. Just milk from a cow.
What about egg? Egg kind of animal.
Egg. Cracked egg. The inside of an egg. So yolk and the whites of an egg need to be in there.
3 white eggs. Okay.
No shell. No shell of the eggs at all.
Texture? No?
No texture. Not like that. No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Chocolate's good.
Chocolate, yeah. Chocolate, good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It.
Baking soda, does that exist in this world?
People say, yes. People say you should always eat your vegetables.
Separately from cupcakes. Let's separate those two. So cupcakes, no veggies.
Cooking is difficult.
It is. It's hard. If you want to own a bakery, you have to learn.
Very particular.
It's a science.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. I just wish I had a cookbook. Yeah. I just wish I had a cookbook.
I think you need one, yeah. And
Yeah.
I know of a library. I can look for one.
I
And
give you all the crab cupcakes.
Not necessary. You keep those. Those are yours.
Did you think of name for a bakery?
I think so, yeah. I want to call it I'm Hooked Bakery.
That'd
Like
be
fishing.
a pun to do with seafood.
Yes. Yep.
That I'm not now putting into cupcakes.
No, not put it. No, I'm hooked.
Do you
like
think that
I
would be
love
confusing?
these. It
Oh,
could be. I'm hooked. Like I love these. Like I'm hooked. I can't have enough. But also going with your original recipe, I think it works great. People won't know if as long as you keep the fish out, people won't know it means something else. But we do.
What about word niche?
Yes.
Niche cupcake.
Niche. Okay.
Niche.
Niche
It's
cupcake.
fancy word. It's
Yeah.
fancy word. You not know?
Yeah,
you not know word niche?
I know word niche.
We'll teach you word niche.
Okay.
Niche means special.
Oh.
Like different.
You're a smart guy. I underestimated you.
You did. You did.
And I apologize for that.
Thank you. Your sentiment is appreciated.
Let me get
people by their voice. This is just my accent.
Ah, okay. That's what threw me off. I was very judgmental and I apologize.
But I like name for bakery. So I will go with I will go with what about Hooked Bakery? It's like Red Hoof, but hooked. Huh?
Yeah,
I go with name of bakery.
Okay.
Thank you.
Like it.
Okay. So basically you want to get the cookbook for him?
So he's in the old bakery that we were at the beginning of our entrance to this town, right?
Yeah, so it's very close. Like it's really close to the Marcel house.
Okay, so is there not a cookbook in there at all that I could find?
In the Marcels?
Somewhere. Where do you think?
Yeah, there is in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, when you get the cookbook, you take a quick look inside it, and there looks to be a woman's handwriting on the inside of the book. So there's a little bit of handwriting and some notes in there, some handwritten notes inside the book.
Okay, what do they say?
It's just recipes. C loves this. A little R with a heart around it. And scratchings on it like no raisins. Ricky hates that type of stuff.
Okay, let me grab this book and show Claude. I think I know whose this is. Claude, there's a I don't know. Is it how far away are we from each other? Is there travel time?
You're in the same building. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Claude, look what I found.
Hey, it's Mother's old cookbook.
Do you want to keep this? And can I have the cupcake recipe inside?
The cupcake recipe? Yeah, Mother loved cupcakes. What's it for? Are you turning into a baker?
I met a friend. He has so he's an orc, so he loves fish in his cupcakes. So that's a long story. Long story short.
Is that what that smell was?
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely those.
God. Oh no.
But so let's ignore the smell. He had a good foundation of a cupcake. He just added some unnecessary stuff. So I'm giving him a recipe. So there's no longer a miscommunication about what he can and can't include in his cupcake recipe. So I'm gonna get this to him. I'm gonna give you the rest of this book in case you want it. It seems very sweet, very nice. There's a lot of good notes in there for you. So I'm gonna take this page. Maybe I'll just jot it down so I don't rip it. Yeah, I'm gonna jot it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, share the recipe. My mother was always trying to help people, and I think she'd be honored if her recipe was passed on to somebody else.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna be great. This guy, he's an orc, but I think he has the basis for a great cupcake, and he's gonna open a bakery called Hooked. Not gonna pat myself on the back, but that was my name, so.
Yeah, I appreciate you checking. Yeah, share the recipe.
Will do. All right, let me write this down on a piece of paper, and then I'll give you the book, and then I'm gonna head back towards the bakery.
I'll also bring the cookbook with me, since apparently I'm now the chef of the party.
Nice. Okay, cool. So Tell, you're able to go back and basically give over the recipe, and Red Hoof thanks you for it. And just as you're going, he goes, I also challenge you to look at your disposition thoughts on people. I know, and you know you got that word wrong, but you're still like at that point, do I correct him or not? Because it's still it's like, challenge your biases.
Yes, I will do. Thank you. I needed to hear that. I don't want to be that person.
Good lesson. And he basically gives you he goes to give you like a massive handshake. He's got a big hand, but it doesn't hurt you. It's really strong, but he knows it's not his first time interacting with humans, so he knows not to accidentally crush your hand.
Yeah. Good luck with Hooked. I think you got something going on here.
Thank you, friend.
You're welcome, friend. Now, let me ask you, are you a fan of Bill? All right. Shake hands. I had a great time with this guy. And then we'll be back to try him with the new and improved recipe.
Okay, cool. So basically, you all meet back in the Marcel house, and you're basically trying to figure out exactly what you want to do, sort of next steps with that. So in terms of where you want to go, when you want to go, how you're going to get there, have a little bit of thought in terms of what you want to do. And then we'll make a little bit of progress on that before calling this session.
I mean,
so talk. Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
I was gonna say, Tommy, since we, on the map we pointed to go inland, Tommy kind of automatically is like, well, the boat won't work unless we were going up the coast, so probably just keep the boat here.
Yeah, maybe they can sail up
massive
north
ship.
and kind of meet us. We'll loop around and meet them.
That's true. We could tell them to meet us up towards Neverwinter or even farther.
Yeah, there was another.
You've got Luskan up at the very top there, as well, up in that sort of colder northern areas.
Could always.
That would be the first point that's along the coast that you'd potentially find somebody. And it's also along the coastline. And as you said, they're about a month ahead of you, so you don't know exactly what that would mean in terms of these destinations. And it depends on how you're looking to potentially track them.
So we're saying that I could send the ship maybe up to Luskan, and once we get up there, we could use the ship to come back down.
Yeah,
we'll figure. Wherever we need to go,
or just go to Luskan. So whichever.
Oh,
one.
Okay.
You could either send the crew and the ship to Luskan and basically dock there if you guys wanted to kind of continue along that path, or go to Luskan with the idea of the circus coming towards you. But once again, you've no idea of the timings of these things, so.
Yeah, can we go backwards on the loop and meet them?
See, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking before.
I'm fine with either, to be honest. It's up to the party.
I like the idea of, let's go up to, I think it's a good idea. We can travel up to Luskan and decide there, find out if they've been in town, and then if not, go back the route.
Yeah. That way, at least we know we were ahead of them in case they travel faster than we think they do.
And we could always just go down coast with the boat.
Yeah, now that we know
somehow.
Now that we know they're about a month ahead, I guess it makes sense. I thought they were like maybe a week or two, but yeah. And we just got this fancy new ship, so might as well put it to use.
Yeah, what was the name of it again?
The Silent Tempest.
Silent Tempest.
Huh, I wonder where that came from. Sounds familiar.
Oh, idea.
I gotta draw the
on a channel,
map.
then you get to name your ship whatever the hell you want.
I'm not complaining.
I love the outright just like sudden aggression we get in here.
It's almost like somebody's out to get us.
Yeah. So
no,
I think it's
technically he put himself in a trap now because we have to go back to try the cupcakes, so he can't kill us. So we have to come back. The cupcakes are too important to the storyline now for us to not come back to them.
You've no idea.
It's like the Fortune of the Rings. One cupcake to rule them all.
I also I just want to ask in preparation for us heading north if there's anything that Rickard wants us to take or like send word or anything that like I can do to help.
So Rickard basically he thanks you, and what he does is he has a quick thought and he scrawls something into a letter and then closes it with one of those wax seals. And he goes, if you basically if you can give this up to, he looks through his contact because he's looking through his dad's old books, for the sort of the contact in that. Okay.
Our dad.
Yep, our dad. Yep, and basically he says,
"What?"
Says, right, so the guy you want to give this to is called Rovin.
Rovin.
Yeah.
Same mom, different dads.
And you're likely to find him sort of either in the port office of Luskan, because that's where we do business, or the inn in the area. It's called the Tiny Prince.
Tiny Prince. Okay,
Tony Hawk.
People just ramping up over the tavern.
Sweet kickflip.
I hope he's in the circus.
Perfect. All right.
So basically, Tommy, you know that the ship is kind of ready to go whenever you want it to. You've been checking out the docks pretty much most mornings when you've been there, kind of getting the crew ready. Getting the new decorations and all on that. It's a small to medium crew at the moment. The guys just did not want to be under your command, like they were Zane's boys. So it's a relatively skeleton crew on that at the moment that you don't have much connection to. Maybe.
Oh, you froze.
Do you know of? Oh, sorry. Yeah, maybe there's one. Yeah, because I can see when it freezes for me. Maybe there's one or two that you know of on the crew that you can have a think about.
So,
and we'll go from there.
So there would be. Tommy has actually, unlike the previous captain, has what is going to be his second in command. So whenever Tommy's not on the ship, there is a presence. The funny part is it's a much older wizard named Volcron. Bukron, and he's actually the reason Tommy picked him is because he was the one throughout our travels that Tommy was trying to learn some of his spells from, and that's why Tommy's not good at his magic. He was learning from a wizard, but is not gifted in magic. So way long ago, when he threw that fireball at that brewery, that tavern that he was running from, it's very uncontrolled. Because he was learning it from someone rather than having the ability. So that's his right hand. That's his right hand man, which is funny. Whenever Tommy's not on the ship, to have like the oldest crew member be the head of it. Yeah. But yeah. So Tommy's established a right hand man for whenever he's not on the ship.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong presence to have, basically like a wizard on your side. It kind of does, in a way, helps keep a lot of the guys in check, because there's probably a little bit of fear, a little bit of distance between himself and them. So,
and it's rare for a pirate to grow old, so it's like extra funny that he's still around even after everything that's happened to the ship, the attacks. He's still like, he's almost too stubborn to die kind of mentality, where most people go out in a blaze of glory as a pirate. He just somehow has stuck around to get to the old age of whatever age, and but yeah,
insert number here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Does he?
Fantastic.
Does he what?
I'll leave that for whenever we board the ship.
Okay.
Meet him. Oh, so can we probably say our goodbyes, or like, because I'm sure Rian wants to talk to Jarvis one last time before we head out, or and I was possibly would like to see if Rusty's still in town, see if maybe he wants to join us.
Jarvis and Rian don't do goodbyes. It's too emotional, dude.
All right, asked and
Nothing on the
answered.
inside, nothing on the outside.
I love how you answered that.
They just ghost each other. They just show up again in their lives. Well, all right, fine. Bo wants to. Before we head out, I want to try to find Rusty and see maybe if he wants to come in, or also try to get some herbal supplies from him.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, so basically the only thing you know of for Rusty is he's basically going to be at the tavern again. He doesn't really have much other sort of places to hang out. He's not much of a drinker, but it's just like in terms of there's rooms and there's basic board and and poles that he can scratch and things out there. We keep the claws at a certain length and stuff. So yeah.
And Tommy definitely would have said, like, knowing that he has a skeleton crew as we're packing up, would have mentioned, like, if we want anyone to come with us, there's space on the ship. So, like, if anybody wants, if not that you say goodbye to Jarvis, but if you wanted Jarvis to come or anyone else to come, there's definitely space on his ship, because he could use the extra hands regardless of who it is.
Rian would probably know that Jarvis is more likely to stay just because of the family that's here, rather than bringing the family onto a pirate ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Dusty headed back to Magville, or is he here in town?
No, he's here in town. He's at the tavern. Basically, he's taking a basic board. He's basically helping Circus at the. So he's probably the most mobile of the, let's call it the ambassador party, between Daggerford and those that came from Magville.
Nice. Well, with that in mind, I want to try to propose to him joining us.
Okay. Cool. So what you would probably know is probably the if you were trying to convince I just gave the answer. If you're trying to convince Rusty to come along, there's probably someone else you might bring along with you to help convince him. Someone else in the party. So
yeah, so I know Tell and Rusty have a past. Who could that be? Tell, would you wanna go try to find Rusty with me?
Yeah.
I think it might be a good idea to bring him along. One for everybody's benefit.
Say less. I didn't think he would be still here, but or I would have said that. But yeah, let's go get him.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let me get rid of that. So just get the normal picture of the tavern area. And basically, as you're walking in, like, so Rusty's in there. He's sitting on his own. He's taking it easy, and basically I'm just going to stick a picture there just for other people, just to note other people in the bar, and you're starting to, as you're looking around, the barman's starting to say, like, right, guys, calm down, we're down to the last of the new Chesterfield, like, relax, there's no more, we only got one barrel, from those freaks, we only got one barrel, it's done, no more. And as you're looking around the bar, what is generally normally very lively environment is quite mixed, because there are those that are very, very rowdy, and there are those that almost appear unconscious, like drunken stupor. So doesn't really seem to be a middle ground in here. You're either, almost aggressively active or full on drunken.
Is he
Froze for a
stuck?
second. Yep. Froze for a second.
Okay.
Put Rusty into this picture. So yeah, I didn't put Rusty into those pictures there. So, but Rusty's in there.
Nice. Rusty's in there. Is Bo here? Beauregard? I'm gonna do a quick.
Oh, you saw him walk out of the tavern earlier on, going, "You can't trust that son of a bitch. You can't trust that son of a bitch." As he sort of walked up, like, so say like you guys are coming from down here, to the west here and going towards the tavern here, and you saw kind of Bo a while ago now walking off this way.
All right, good. That's less trouble for me then.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been bad. Could have been bad. All right, so Rusty's at the bar. We're gonna head up.
Yep.
We're gonna hey Rusty. Yeah, we're gonna approach Rusty.
Yeah, and just Rusty goes, "Hey, Bo. Hey, Tal. How's you guys?"
Pretty good. What's going on in here? There's a lot going on.
Like cracked open that new Chesterfield deal. I don't even know. I think I got some, like maybe like half a cup or whatever. It was pretty good. But something to do with the circus, and they finally got around to actually opening it. So yeah, seems to have gone down the street.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see the circus while they were in town?
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a weird balance where it's like, there's like there's a big lion, as part of the show, and then people kind of look at me and it's like, yes, I know to humans I'm a big cat, but I'm not a performing animal like them. So it's kind of a awkward situation for me,
Yeah.
But some pretty good talented individuals in there.
It's hard. Humans see you as humanoid, right?
Yeah, that oid part. Yeah, but to be honest, I've kind of had I tolerate most humans in that sense. Like you can kind of see them like touching the sort of the scars and the tattoo and stuff as he's saying it. He's not even doing that for your attention. It's just reminding him of the past life and what that has meant for him. So
yeah,
you shouldn't have to tolerate it. We need to rescue those dang lions. They're in prison.
Russ goes, whoa. Thanks, Tal. I really appreciate that, buddy. They look like they're well kept. They're not mistreated. They don't beat them for tricks or whatever. They look okay to me. They're not actually. We're not actually like related in some way. I don't associate myself. But I appreciate the animal rights perspective.
Sorry. That struck a chord with me. You know how it goes.
Because some people might say that for people that have like dogs around with them. Okay.
I'll stand down.
So it's a fine line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you both have had experiences being captive, so I know I can see why I would strike a chord with you, Tel.
Mm-hmm. Gets me a little riled up, just a little bit.
Good to know.
Rusty looks at you and goes, "You know what could make you feel better?"
I think I do.
And he goes, "Oh, belly rub."
He gives you a belly rub.
Yeah. He gives you a belly rub. And he goes, "Yeah, good time, buddy. Good time. What's up? What's up with you guys? What are you guys? What are you guys getting up to?"
Well, I was hoping we're planning on going on a trip. We're actually gonna looking catching up to that circus, and we're gonna head up towards Luskin. We were gonna take Tommy's new ship that he's.
Yeah, what do you guys think of the name?
It's Not original, but
He's looking around. He's looking around. He's making sure Tommy's not here. He goes, you can tell me. What do you think of the name?
I mean, it's not original, but it's pretty decent. It's good. I mean,
okay, yeah, okay.
He didn't workshop it with me. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, okay. I was kind of wondering if it was like a group thought thing, and
No.
I wasn't sure if it was a case of too many cooks giving ideas to it. But okay,
Nah, just one cook making a fish cupcake. That's all.
I think it's
there were some good cupcakes. Like the fish in those cupcakes were incredible.
You've had the Red Hoof
Target Market.
It's chocolate and it's fish. It's like, look at me. It's like, I'm like, it's like amazing.
Well, that's something.
Really hope they don't change the recipe. I really hope they don't change the recipe. That would be so disappointing.
Man,
you might have to special request that. I think he's gonna change it.
You gotta, yeah. What did you say is new? What did you say they changed the name of the bakery is gonna be?
Oh, it's called Hooked. Like fishing hook.
It'd be weird if they changed the recipe. I feel like they could. I feel like they could.
It's like a callback to the original. They can still make them. I mean, fish is going to be around forever.
It's true.
If I ever find the guy who made them change that recipe, I'm going to be so mad.
It's a callback to the original recipe.
Why couldn't it be? I mean, I've been to plenty of tavern. I ordered something off menu.
I mean, do we have to change Kentucky Fried Chicken because it isn't in Kentucky anymore?
Where's Kentucky?
Yeah. It's north of Luskin. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Great White North.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
It's just not a big enough settlement that it would be on the map for Freaky Deeks to go to.
Good point.
But it's in that direction. Yeah.
I bet we could get. I'm looking forward now. We could probably get some fried chicken up there. Anyway. So we're heading up there. I was wondering if I could possibly procure some herbal.
Oh, because you get seasick, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Mint tea works well for when I'm on land and hangovers, but seasick, that's a different story.
Yeah, it's because it's medicinal. Yeah.
Exactly. You understand.
Yeah, it's good for you. Yeah, that nip. Yeah, it's just got that nip about it. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I get you. So, and basically, he goes like, "Well, I wish you good luck on your journey." And basically, he kind of gives you like the handshake, and you can tell there's something in the hand.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna try to slyly take it from him.
Yeah, so slide a hand, please.
Perfect.
So no one else in the place can see it.
That's gonna be a 14.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough. I was lucky enough as well because a couple of guards walked into the tavern as well.
Yeah.
And so a couple of them walked in, but no sort of notice at the moment. Nothing sinister about it, but basically you can tell they're off duty, and they're basically just looking to get a drink, and they're able to call over to the barman, and basically say, "Hey, did you save us a mug?" Because I saved you a mug, buddy, and basically all three of them get a mug of the Chesterfield ale that's been sort of kept over for them. And you can hear other patrons go, "Hey, come on, you said there was none left. Come on." Blah, 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 blah. He goes, quiet, guys. Anyway, they're taking their drinks and they're working away. But yep, you've been able to sleight of hand.
Nice.
The medicinal seasickness.
The catnip.
Yep, exactly. And you've got that for your journey.
Nice. I didn't know. Do you have anything else you wanna ask, Rusty?
Am I on catnip, or is that guy holding a broken stool and it's miraculously staying together?
No, you're not on the catnip. I don't know how it is. It's basically as the guards are sort of drinking, you can see like one of them almost instantly goes into the drunken stupor. Not instantly, like he's been drinking for a little while. It's not like a very sudden. It's just more of a as he gets to it, he's one of the ones that's like woof, and the other guy goes, "Oh, this guy can not hold his drink," and he goes into the stupor as well. And then this guy is seeing this rowdy boy, and you can tell he's having the opposite reaction. He's getting slightly more aggressive, slightly more escalated. He goes, "Hey, guy, either break the stool or don't break the stool, but just take it outside." Slurring his words and kind of getting angry, and you can tell these two are almost sort of face to face, He goes, "You think you're so big with your guard? I could have been a guard. I could have been a guard." And they go, "Oh yeah," and very somber. "Well, you're lucky I'm off duty." And so anyway, they're looking like they're basically just scuffling or just getting angry with each other as you guys are talking away.
Let the stool break. You're confusing people.
He goes, "You want me to break the stool?" And he swings it at the guard.
Oh shit!
And it smashes on the guard, and he goes down. And then the place basically, there's a mini eruption. Everybody who's not knocked out are fighting, and chairs are being thrown, and stools are being. But this is basically the match that lit the fuse that had been sort of building this tension in the bar. With this, and this fighting's going on, there's craziness going on, lots of pushing and shoving, and Rusty's like, "Guys, I think we should just get out of here, before we get involved here." And as he's saying that, he's starting to get that sort of slight. He's almost like a mixture of it. Like he's got part stupor, but part like aggressive. Anybody touches him, he's kind of like in the middle between those two reactions. It's like, I just want to sleep, but
Bo puts his hand on his shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, Rusty, you all right?"
"I'm fine." Kind of tosses your hand away. He's not even looking at you. He goes, "Oh, I'm fine. I just need to lie down." He's really caught in that. He wants to sleep, but would probably want to fight at the same time. So yeah. So basically, he's like, "We should just get out of here now!" And he's like madly shoving people out of the way, as he basically makes his way towards the door of the tavern.
Yeah,
I think we should follow him. I don't know what's going on here. Those guards came in and they just started. Is there any of that drink that Rusty had still at the bar?
Wouldn't be in Rusty's, because Rusty only had like a very small amount of it. Probably the closest one would be the guard. One of the guards, their 3 mugs at the end of the bar.
I don't think Bo's. He's had his fair share of rowdy bar fights. Yeah. I'm gonna follow.
Yeah.
Rusty out.
So basically, you walk past the end of the bar, and there's the 3 mugs that were there, and they had little bits of the drink in there. Very, very sweet. Like a really strong sweetness smell in the air that you normally wouldn't associate with ale. But no one seems to be getting sick. No one seems to be like, there doesn't seem to be anybody like, dying, or it seems to be either, quite aggressive or almost asleep. So yeah.
Is the barkeeper there?
Yep.
Is this? Can I approach him? I'm gonna say, "Hey, is this the first time you guys have opened up that Chesterfield? What about whenever
we only got the 1 barrel. The circus guys gave it to us, but it was like a couple weeks ago. We were like, "I'm not touching this," and it's just all the celebrations and everything. It's a Chesterfield at the end of the day. But so yeah, we only had the 1 barrel. It ran out quite quickly. So yeah. But it's like for people, and he's looking at like the sun, and I was gonna say looking at a watch, but he doesn't have a watch. But it's like, it's really early. I wouldn't expect people to be drunk this early, and like we were serving this like last night, but actually to say that, it was pretty rowdy last night too.
Do you know if Beauregard came in and had some of this?
Beauregard's been here pretty much every single day.
Yeah, but do you know if he had some of this specifically?
No, don't think so, because he's a creature of habit. He used to come in here with the same people, same time of the day, and kind of having the same beer. So he kind of just sticks to what he likes, what he knows he likes. Plus, when he's in that state, you kind of just give him what he wants. You don't really want him to get angsty. And
yeah.
So yeah.
I know he can't stand me anymore.
Yeah. So you're the other bow. Right.
I'm the other bow.
That makes a lot more. That makes a lot
yeah,
more
you
sense.
remember whenever I don't know if you were here that day that I won the loot. I challenged George to
No, it wasn't me then. I heard it was good, but no, I wasn't on shift that day. So yeah.
Yeah, that was me, and I'm the other bow. So.
Right. Okay.
So what's going on behind? Not out of character. Just so I'm gonna do a perception check on, or just like look back to see what's going on with the fight. Is there still is it getting out of control or?
It's not that many fights are in control, but like there's probably more aggression on people's face than there is actual physicality happening. You can tell there's like an intensity in people's faces, but there isn't a lot of actual motor skills to be able to back that up.
Yeah.
Because you can still see they're kind of in that balance between aggression and passing out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like attempted pushes and things out there. So probably more things getting knocked over than actual anybody getting really hurt.
Yeah. Well, before anything gets any worse, friend, what was your name again? Jeremy?
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you, Jeremy.
Nice.
Do you think we should catch up with Rusty before things get out of control?
Yeah.
You might want to see if you can. I don't know if you want to ask him if you could join us or not. Maybe being an ambassador for the Seven Sons with Marcel.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. What did the drink smell like? I didn't get a chance to smell it.
It smelled sweet. It did not smell anything that I've smelled with Chesterfield. So.
What do roofies smell like?
I don't know.
I don't either.
That is the correct answer for someone who doesn't want to come across as a predator.
I don't think.
Does this napkin smell like chlorophyll to
you? Yeah.
Not quite sure what that is. Yeah. We'll have to.
They got the barrel from the circus though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Rusty's outside. Rusty's outside.
Let's move on.
Oh no! Sorry. So you want to look at the barrel?
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, let's go get Rusty. I got enough information. We're good.
Cool. So basically, at that point, so it's really now a sort of decision. Do you want to try to bring Rusty along with you on that, and then? I think basically the session sort of end is with you guys getting on the ship and basically towards Alaskan if that's the plan.
Going on a trip.
I think we're gonna try to get Rusty in. I mean, he seems to be in this weird drunken stupor, so I don't think he should be left to his own devices.
Yeah, let's just kidnap him instead.
I mean. Is it kidnapping when your mates help? I mean, you guys are mates, right? You're friends. You're gonna help them.
It's really a catnapping, honestly.
Okay, so if you want to pick up Rusty, basically you can't fight. He's not really aware right now, so you could easily left him and just bring him to the ship if you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't want to leave him by himself, so let's
grab
him.
Let's take him. All right, we're
okay.
Gonna one arm on over each shoulder, like kind of like like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So tell me, Captain, ready to disembark?
Absolutely. I have everything set. I'm at the wheel and I'm kind of directing the crew. Sails down. Onward up the coast. Get this new boat out on the water.
Cool. As the ship is basically coasting away, Rian looks out over the edge of the ship, and although she did not say goodbye to Jarvis, she can see a little tiny boy running towards the shore, like desperately waving, just Rian. It's like looking sad, and basically Jarvis kind of putting his hand on the shoulder, and so really disappointed that he didn't get to say goodbye.
Rian's gonna cast Minor Illusion and just do a little fun firework light show.
Love it. And he loves it. That instantly distracts him long enough to kind of get that out of his system, and you guys hitting the seas. Yeah.